Good morning, everyone. Well, the much anticipated snowy day and snowy night in southern Nebraska is finally upon us. And now we do have high confidence in the timing of the snow, but unfortunately, there is still uncertainty, even at this late hour, in exactly how much snow is going to come down. We'll get to those snowfall amounts in just a minute, but let's start with the timing. And we're starting at 8 a.m. this morning, and it is good news for the morning commute, no matter where you are in the state, completely dry. No snow just yet. But beginning in the late morning, here we are at 11 a.m. Now snow showers a possibility for places like Oshkosh, North Platte, and McCook, but still a lot of folks dry. But by the time we get into the early afternoon, now here we are at 2 o'clock, we'll call it scattered snow showers for places like Broken Bow, Kearney, Grand Island, and the chance of flurries now for Columbus, Lincoln, Beatrice, and Omaha for the southeastern part of the state. But what we really want to focus in on are those darker shades of blue. See that darker shade of blue around McCook? That's showing where heavy snow is expected. And that's the snow that's going to be piling up awfully quick. So at 2 o'clock, the heavy snow likely just limited around the McCook area, not even in Kearney or Grand Island just yet. Also worth noting a couple things before we start tracking the heavy snow. This is the warmest part of the day, 2 o'clock this afternoon, and notice at the warmest part of the day, all temperatures below freezing. So when the snow begins, it will immediately be able to start piling up. We're not going to have to wait for some of the melting to occur. As soon as the snow starts falling, it's going to start piling up because temperatures staying below freezing today. Also, another thing worth noting, notice I've got the windy icon in there. It is going to be windy throughout the day and throughout the night. Wind gusts across all of southern Nebraska will be common around 30-35 miles per hour, occasionally dipping down to 25 miles per hour, maybe occasionally getting up to 40 miles per hour, mainly hanging out in that 30 to 35 mile per hour zone, which means we're talking about blowing snow. We're talking about blowing snow, even when it's just light to moderate snow, that reduces visibility more than usual. And when it's heavy snow coming down and the wind is blowing, that further reduces visibility. So that's why this could end up being a more high impact event, because it's also going to be windy, further reducing visibility, and the snow is going to be able to pile up so quickly because temperatures staying below freezing. All right, now that we're past that, let's keep tracking the heavy snow. So now here we are, homebound commute, 5 o'clock. And at this point, still just light to moderate snow in the southeastern part of the state, but now I've got to mention the potential for heavy snow for places like Kearney and Grand Island. By the time we get to 8 o'clock, now we're talking about the potential for heavy snow, Lincoln, Omaha, Beatrice, Columbus, and still want to highlight, see how you're still seeing that darker shade of blue even down towards McCook. So everybody has a chance of heavy snow early this evening. Now, as far as the peak for the Lincoln and Omaha area, let's stop things at 11 o'clock, because I think 10, 11, midnight, see an even darker shade of blue showing up. I think the snow is really going to be piling up at this point. But notice, now just in the southeastern part of the state, moving past the period of heavy snow in the central part of the state. Still windy, by the way. Now, once we get to 2 a.m., notice we're not seeing very much of those dark shades of blue anymore. Now, I still think at 2 a.m. a lot of light to moderate snow coming down, but not very much in the way of heavy snow. By the time we get to 5 a.m., very late tonight, early tomorrow morning, now notice some gaps showing up, even in the southeastern part of the state. So now we're talking about scattered light to moderate snow showers. And I do think that's a possibility for the southeastern part of the state, Lincoln, Omaha, for the morning commute. But I'll tell you what, I think there's just going to be less and less. And by the time we get to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, could there still be some lingering flurries in the southeastern part of the state? Yes. But as far as any more accumulating snow, no, that will be over with. And now just breezy. Now finally, wind gusts averaging 20-25 miles per hour, so not as windy as during the day today and tonight, and oh yeah, cold and a wind chill factor throughout the day today and into tomorrow morning. Okay, so now snowfall amounts. And I do want to highlight the southeastern part of the state. See that circle I've drawn for the greatest forecast uncertainty? Even at this late hour, there could still be some adjustments to the forecast in this area. But this is where the model average stands right now. Right now, we're talking about as little as a dusting to as much as 2 inches in North Platte, 3 to 5 inches for Kearney. but just to the north, just a little bit farther north in Grand Island, 1 to 3 inches. And look at that, a dusting to 2 inches in Columbus. The model average right now in Omaha, 1 to 3 inches, but just to the south in Lincoln, 5 to 7 inches. And can you believe that in Beatrice, 9 to 11 inches of snow? I'm a little uncertain about that. I think the model's a little bit aggressive. I don't want you to think that 9 to 11 inches is going to be common in the southeastern part of the state. I think, things like 7, 8, 9 inches is more likely in a few spots. But could there be 1 or 2 spots that see 10 to 11 inches of snow? Yes, and so that's why I'm leaving that 11-inch amount in there, because it can't be ruled out right now, but a couple of spots, not widespread, but a couple spots. And could it be Beatrice? Yes, could see 10, 11 inches of snow. But the problem is, if this low tracks just a little bit farther north, then suddenly that 9 to 11 inches is a possibility in Lincoln. And that 5 to 7 inches is a possibility in Omaha. Vice versa, though. If the low tracks just 5, 10 miles farther south, then suddenly we're talking about a dusting to 2 inches in Omaha and 1 to 3 inches in Lincoln. That is how little of a difference it's going to take for this model average, even the model average, to shift. It is not going to take much of a shift in the track of this low pressure system. So that's why the National Weather Service has issued these advisories and warnings. And this is where it's good to remember what an advisory means, a winter weather advisory versus a winter storm warning. So a winter weather advisory is issued when there's the potential for 3 to 6 inches of snow. So it is expected that it's going to be definitely less than 3 inches if you're not in the winter weather advisory. So North Platte, it's definitely going to be less than 3 inches. For places like Grand Island, York, Columbus, Fremont, you're in the potential for 3 to 6 inches of snow. But for the winter storm warning, a winter storm warning is issued when there's the potential for more than 6 inches of snow. And that's why, even though the model average right now for Omaha is 1 to 3 inches, Omaha is still included in that winter storm warning, which I think is a great move by the National Weather Service, because as I mentioned, if this low tracks just 5 to 10 more miles farther north, yes, we're talking about more than 6 inches of snow being a possibility in Omaha. So it's still a possibility in Omaha. That's why Omaha is still included in the winter storm warning. So, big takeaway here is there's still time for even these warnings and advisories to shift right along the border, though, right along the border of the winter storm warning and the winter weather advisory. So what I want you to do when you get home from work or school today, if you're in the southeastern part of the state, check the forecast one more time, because there could still be some fluctuation. Could Fremont and York, for example, be added into the winter storm warning? Yes, that's a possibility. On the other side, could we switch from a winter storm warning to a winter weather advisory for Omaha and Lincoln, where only 3 to 6 inches of snow is expected? Yes, that is a possibility as well. So unfortunately, one more time, stay tuned for updates.